This trading strategy is boring, but it'll make you profitable fast. And I'm not exaggerating. One of my students, Justine, made $1,500 in one day using this exact approach. But here's the part most traders don't want to hear. The reason you're not profitable yet probably isn't because your strategy is too simple. It's because you keep looking for something more exciting. More indicators, more setups, more action. But profitability doesn't come from excitement. It comes from repetition. I trade what I call the Trinity model, a simple, repeatable framework, and it's intentionally boring. No constant trades, no flashy entries, no overcomplicated charts, and that's exactly why it works. In this video, I'm going to break down the strategy step by step, explain why boring is actually your edge, and show you how to apply it the right way so you can stop spinning your wheels and finally become consistent. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the traders who win aren't the ones chasing adrenaline. They're the ones repeating a process. This trading strategy is boring because it forces you to stop trading like a retail trader. No indicators, no perfect entry, and no sitting on the 1-minute chart trying to snipe reversals. But if you want to turn profitable fast, you need this. Because most traders don't actually lose from bad entries. They lose because they're entering in places that don't matter. That's why you feel like the market is random. You get in, it stops you out, and then it goes exactly where you thought it would. And you're left thinking, what am I missing? It's not random, you're just missing step 1 of the Trinity model. And step 1 is the most boring part, but it's the part that makes everything else work. High time frame fair value gaps. Not as an entry signal, but as the story behind the move. And once you can read that story, you stop chasing price and you let it come to you. So first, let me show you what a fair value gap actually is in plain English. The main buildup of a fair value gap is 3 candles. We have 1, 2, and 3. And if you'll notice, there's a space between the first candle's wick and the third candle's wick, which forms this gap here. This is what's called a fair value gap. And this forms because price was in such a hurry to get in a certain direction that it failed to properly fill orders, leaving behind this gap, or what's actually called an imbalance. So when price comes back down into this area, it fills those orders and then takes price in the intended direction. So for a bullish fair value gap, like so, if price comes down into that gap, we're going to expect it to push price higher. On the other hand, if we have 3 candles going in the bearish direction that has a space between the first candle's wick and the third candle's wick, it is a bearish fair value gap, in which if we return to it, we'll expect it to push price lower. So you have bullish fair value gaps and bearish fair value gaps. Now here's where most traders mess this up. They hear fair value gap and they immediately jump to their 1-minute chart and start marking every single fair value gap they see. Every little 3-candle pattern, every little micro inefficiency, and for a while it feels productive. But then this happens. Some gaps work perfectly, some get sliced straight through, and some of them we never even come back to. And you're left thinking, are these even real? They are, you're just looking at them in the wrong place. Because not all fair value gaps carry the same weight. And if you don't understand that difference, you'll treat noise like it's structure. So here's the shift. We don't use low time frame gaps for bias. Instead, we use high time frame gaps, which is anything on the 15-minute or higher. Let me explain why that changes everything. Instead of getting stuck on the 1-minute noise, we can use a 15-minute gap and then use that as a point of interest and then catch this move on our lower time frame. Here I have a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. If you'll notice, after market opens, we tag up into that gap. I then get my entry signal here, which allows me to ride the rest of this 15-minute candle. This is what it looks like on my higher time frame. So we're basically just aligning our lower time frame with our higher time frame. So if I'm looking at an actual example here, I'm on my 4-hour time frame. I'm going to draw out this huge 4-hour bullish fair value gap and anticipate price to tag into it. As you can see in this example on my 5-minute time frame, market opened and we immediately tagged down into that same 4-hour gap that I just drew. And now we can move into step 2. Super quick, before we get into step 2, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, this makes sense, but I don't quite trust myself to apply this correctly, that's exactly why I run my one-on-one lifetime mentorship. I work directly with traders to help them apply the Trinity model the right way, filtering correctly, building confidence, and staying consistent. Just like my student Wolf, who recently acquired $1.5 million in prop firm funding by using this exact strategy. There's a mentorship application linked below for you to book an interview with my team. No pressure, just an option if you want guidance instead of guessing. All right, let's move on. So now we have the narrative. We know where price actually matters. We know which gaps belong on the chart and which don't. But here's the problem. Just because price reaches into a high time frame gap doesn't mean it's tradable. This is where most traders get impatient. They see price tap the zone and they just jump in. And sometimes that works, but a lot of the time it doesn't. Because narrative alone isn't confirmation, which is where the second part of the Trinity model comes in, SMT divergence. And if you don't understand how to find it, or more importantly, when to look for it, you'll either miss the best trades or force setups that were never actually there in the first place. So let me show you exactly what SMT is, how to spot it in seconds, and why it only matters inside of a high time frame gap. Here I've drawn out a normal market cycle. I'm going to label this as NASDAQ or NQ. As you can see, I've made a copy of this chart and labeled it ES. That's because this is standing for the S&P 500. If you'll notice here, NASDAQ moves exactly the same as the S&P 500. Whenever NQ moves up, ES also moves up. Whenever NQ moves down, ES also moves down. This is what we call a correlated market. All it basically means is that these two markets move pretty much in tandem with each other. So what happens when we get a crack in that correlation? In other words, when NQ makes a lower high and a higher high, while ES makes a higher high and a lower high in the exact same spot. This is called SMT divergence, and that's what we look for when price tags into a high time frame gap. The reason we're looking for this is because it shows smart money is ready to reverse in a big way. Now, when most traders hear SMT divergence, they immediately assume it's overcomplicated. They think they need indicators, or special tools, or they need to calculate something. In fact, the easiest way to spot SMT has nothing to do with indicators at all. It's one simple question. And once you start asking this question, you'll see SMT everywhere without even drawing a line. But here's the catch. If you look for it at the wrong time, it's completely useless. So let me show you the easiest way to spot SMT and when it actually matters. In TradingView, I'm going to open my layout tool and put this on 2 layouts. Now the reason behind this is because it'll allow me to look at NASDAQ and the S&P 500 at the same time. So I'm going to put this in auto. I'm going to put this in auto as well. And I'm going to sync everything up real quick. And if you'll notice, you can see that both of these charts are pretty much the same, like I just spoke about. But there are some minor differences. Or for example here, NASDAQ makes a higher high and a lower high, and the S&P 500 makes a lower high and a higher high, just before this big move down. Simply having this second chart layout open will let you spot this SMT much easier. If you'll notice here, wherever my cursor goes, if you're looking at this on the left side, it matches up with the right side. So if I'm looking at the 1 p.m. candle on the left side, I'm also hovering over the 1 p.m. candle on the right side. And that is if you have all of these checked off right here, these 4 options. So if I hover over a candle on my left side, like 730, and it's not the same spot on the right, I can easily see that we have SMT just by doing that. Very fast. Looking at this example on the 4-hour chart, if you'll notice, when we tagged into here, we formed a higher low and a lower low on NASDAQ. And on the S&P 500, in the same exact spot, we form a lower low and a higher low. The only time you have to look for SMT is when we tag into a high time frame gap, because all we're doing is confirming that that is the gap we want to trade out of. So this would be valid SMT for step 2 of the model. So now we have 2 pieces in place. High time frame gaps confirm the narrative, and SMT divergence confirms when that narrative is active. But we still don't have permission to enter, and this is where most traders rush it. And then when price pulls back against them, they start questioning the entire setup. Because confirmation doesn't equal timing. You still need that precision to be able to enter. You need a way to define risk clearly without chasing. And this is the third piece of the Trinity model. Inversion fair value gaps. This is the only part of the model where I care about the 1 through 5 minute charts. Not for bias, not for narrative, not for confirmation, strictly for execution. Let me show you how inversion gaps form and how to enter them with small risk inside a high time frame story. If you remember earlier, I showed you a normal bearish fair value gap and how that forms. We have the 3 candlestick pattern in which we expect price to return to this area and trade lower. What happens when a candle disrespects this gap and ends up closing above it? That's when this gap will no longer be valid as a bearish fair value gap, and now it becomes an inversion gap in which we expect this to push price higher instead of lower. The same exact thing applies to bullish fair value gap that get disrespected. As you can see here, we got a bearish candle that closed below this level right here, which is the bottom of this bullish fair value gap, which means that this is now an inversion gap. And again, we will expect price to push lower instead of higher. This confirms a change in state of delivery, which means that we're moving from either a sell side to a buy side program or a buy side to a sell side program. This is the final step of the model and is what allows me to take my trades. As you can see here, back in this example, we have this bearish fair value gap that gets closed above after we've tagged into our high time frame gap and we've had that SMT form at the low. We have all 3 steps required for me to finally enter this trade. I'm going to place my entry here as a market buy order as soon as we close above this gap, and my stop loss will go below this SMT. I'm going to target a 2R, and let's play this out. As you can see, we did hit that target. Let's take a look at another example here. Taking a look at this example here, we have a 15-minute bullish fair value gap that's going to be used for step 1. After market opens right here, price tags down into this 15-minute fair value gap. And when this happens, I can look for step 2, which is going to be that SMT divergence that I mentioned earlier. If you'll notice, here NQ makes a higher low and a lower low on the 15-minute chart. And in the same exact spot on ES, we form a lower low and a higher low. Back on my lower time frame now, we have a 1-minute bearish fair value gap here that formed just before we tagged inside this gap and formed this SMT. That gap gets closed above right here, allowing me to take my entry and place my stop below this low. We'll again target a 2R. Let's play this out. As you can see, we hit that target as well. At this point, you've seen the entire Trinity model. You know how I build narrative with high time frame gaps, how I confirm it with SMT, and how I execute with inversion gaps. But understanding the model and actually knowing how to day trade the right way are 2 very different things. That's why I created a full breakdown right here on YouTube covering exactly how to start day trading as a beginner in 2026. Inside that video, I walk you through what you actually need to get started, what to ignore, how to structure your trading, and how to avoid the mistakes that keep most beginners stuck. If you're serious about turning this into something real, not just watching charts and hoping, click the video on your screen right now. It'll show you exactly how to start the right way. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications for future videos, and comment down below what you want to see next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.